Here we are 4 months after the closure of Poe Hall. New answers now directly from NC State's Chancellor tonight. 5 on your side's Keely Arthur has been investigating the PCB contamination at that building since the closure.
And now for the first time, she's speaking with Chancellor Randy Woodson about the concerns of people who spent time in Poe.
I mean, this shows that the EPA was having difficulty reaching NC State for weeks after the building closed.
And Keely is here now with what the Chancellor had to say when faced with that question and others involving the handling of Poe Hall.
I asked as many questions as I could. It's been 120 days since Chancellor Woodson closed Poe Hall. That's a long time for people who were in that building to sit and wonder if the chemicals they were exposed to made them sick. Chancellor Randy Woodson told me those answers will come only after building testing is completed, he says later this spring. We met Chancellor Woodson at his NC State office, a mere 700 feet from Poe Hall, the subject of this interview. It's been 4 months since the building was closed. When do you think people will get answers?
We're working on it as quickly as we can.
The former education and psychology building opened in 1971. Through the years, several employees say they suspected potentially heightened rates of cancer. Last August, one of them made a formal complaint.
So in order to be able to fully engage with people about health implications, we have to have questions answered about the environment within the building.
Answers, transparency, and truth is all anyone touched by Poe Hall wants.
If they understood what these women have gone through and what their families have gone through, I think the least they can do is even act like they care.
By mid-November, environmental testing of Poe confirmed the presence of high levels of PCBs. The chemicals once used in building materials are now a banned known carcinogen.
So we made the very difficult decision, again, out of an abundance of caution, to close the building.
NC State says it has no plans to collect health information from people who worked or learned in Poe Hall. So we did, confirming 152 cases of cancer, a number that includes 10 people who passed away, like NC State student Donovan Engelbrecht. He died of leukemia, but the most common diagnosis, breast cancer. We ran the numbers and found for 2022 alone, the rate of diagnosis for breast cancer in Poe Hall was 3 times the county rate.
You said we're important to the university. Okay. Tell us that we are.
Show us.
Show us.
Are you worried about the reputation of this university?
I'm not worried about the reputation of this university because I know we're doing the right thing.
But records show doing the right thing has been hampered by delays and communication problems, with one administrator writing he hit a couple of dead ends trying to get a hold of the Environmental Safety and Health Department at the university. Memos from the Centers for Disease Control show a federal health investigation stalled for months as the agency waited for the go-ahead from the university. And this email from a PCB expert with the Environmental Protection Agency asked 2 university administrators, is there an NC State contact to discuss this situation? I still have not heard anything back from the university. I mean, this shows that the EPA was having difficulty reaching NC State for weeks after the building closed.
I'm not the person to ask that.
Why not? You're the face of the university.
Well, yeah, I know it, but I didn't engage with EPA.
Another email shows a separate EPA employee was interested in visiting Poe Hall, but the agency confirms that visit never happened. Why hasn't the university allowed any other agencies into Poe Hall?
We're the building owner. It's critical for us to evaluate the building and understand what the nature of the building is.
To that end, the university hired a consulting firm. To date, Geosyntec Consulting has taken 81 samples from this 7-story building. But an expert in the field from the University of Iowa says they should be taking 30 samples in a single classroom.
We've done one phase of testing, Keely, so let's not evaluate the thoroughness of the testing until we're done.
When will it be done?
Toward the end of April.
Until then, Woodson asks for continued patience from a Wolfpack community growing increasingly impatient. Now, we also heard concerns from many of you that sources of the PCBs in Poe Hall may have been removed by the consulting firm before final testing. The chancellor told me that did not happen. They are not manipulating the environment before testing. We have so much more to share on this interview. It was a 30-minute interview. I asked him if he was worried about lawsuits, if he's concerned about the health of the people who are in Poe Hall. We have all of that up on our website, WRAL.com.